Alright, so let's just get into some of the key points from today's AMA. So, here are just some general updates here. One thing Forex mentioned is that he's always going to look out for the diamond hands who hold and believe in the ecosystem. Paper hands will be wrecked, and that's basically how he designs a lot of his protocols. And I think those that hold true, those that stick to their convictions will be rewarded. He also says that he aims to be the top 10 to 20 in all of crypto with this farm, and you will be rewarded as a farm owner. So I think in this regard, he's referring to that pig pen. People that build those positions in the pig pens and get a bigger position there over time will be rewarded in the long run. He did touch on the release date. Now, these release dates, every time we get information on this, I take these with a grain of salt, but the latest update we got from him is that we're going to get a known release date by the end of this month, but then from there, it'll be 4 to 6 months from that announcement. So, based on this information, I think September is the absolute earliest we're going to get the farms. I don't know if they're going to go live then, but that seems to be the earliest that we're going to get everything up and running again, which I know is frustrating for some people, but I'm not done accumulating. I'm trying to build my position, so while it might be frustrating, I'm excited because I get to build my positions. I especially want to get much more pigs in my pig pen, so this is going to give me more time to DCA into pigs. So I'm personally excited about it because it gives me more time, but I know some of you guys might be frustrated with that, but did want to mention that. Driptopian also brought up the idea of whether you can change your buddy ID to Forex. I know this is something that is not currently built into the current drip system today, but this was brought up, and I think the reason being is if you were to join somebody's team and your team leader were to max out his wallet, then none of those kickbacks are going to be able to go back down to the downline. So that would be the incentive for maybe wanting to change teams over time so that you can kind of keep earning some rewards that get passed down. We'll see. I know Driptopian's actually going to be joining a future meeting with Forex Shark, so we'll see what happens. Maybe that is something that gets implemented down the road. I know Forex doesn't really want to change anything with Drip, but maybe this is something that can be tweaked. And then also he did talk about the Drip USD farming pool, because I know we got an indication about like a week ago saying that the Drip USD farm was soon to be launched, so some people were starting to speculate that maybe that was going to get launched ahead of the rest of the farms, but he did debunk that, and he said that the full farm is going to be released at one time. He did also talk about the Drip UI, which we know it's going to be modeled after Charles Schwab. That's nothing new. He talked about the airdropping feature, where one of the big changes they're trying to make is so that team leaders can airdrop multiple people on their team at one, and with the click of one button, because currently if you wanted to airdrop like 5 to 10 people on your team, you have to do it individually, and it takes quite a bit of time. So he wants to make it more efficient for team leaders to airdrop their team members. Talked about some updates to the faucet and reservoir, and there's going to be an alternative way to stake in the reservoir or the faucet. The new mechanism is going to be a more gamified version, but it won't change the mechanics of them. And it also has an element of lottery and rewarding large deposits. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think that's the one thing that we've seen in some of these other protocols. When you can implement some type of a lottery system in play, then usually that can attract some large buys into your protocol. So I think that'd be a cool feature to add into Drip. Forex also talked about the elastic supply of Drip, and he talked about, if the faucet doesn't have Drip, it has to mint Drip. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and this is something that I've talked about in previous videos about minting drip tokens. And the one thing you got to remember is, originally we had 1 million drip tokens. There's only so many places that 1 million drip tokens can go, especially with the addition of all these other contracts. We've got the garden, we got the drip USD that you can buy on PancakeSwap. We've got the reservoir. There's so many different places, and there's only so many places for those drip tokens to go. So obviously those drip tokens, they start in the faucet, and then over time they can migrate to other areas where people are staking them. So the minting of drip tokens isn't necessarily a bad issue to have. We also talked about the fact that drip is tied to BNB. Obviously, since BNB is down, it kind of drags the drip price down with it. But if BNB were to recover and we go into a bull run in crypto again over the next year or two, and BNB shoots back up to $500 to $1,000, then that can help to bring the drip price up with it. He also talked about the fact that you have to look at the future value when you buy drip, not at the current price. It is not relevant if you are in it for a long-term project. And I know for me, I'm a long-term investor. That's how I got my start in the stock market, just by buying passive index funds. Just set it and forget it. That's how I like to invest. I'm not someone that likes to trade, swing trade, so I'm not trying to play that game. Those are the types of people that get wrecked, especially in crypto, and especially with a project like Drip. Drip is meant as a long-term investment, especially pigs as well. Both are meant to be long-term, set it and forget it assets that you hold, and then eventually you can live on some of those dividends. You can take your drip, stake it in that drip USD farming pool. Your pigs, you can stake in the pig pen, and you can just kind of live on those dividends. He then went into the animal farm, talked about the fact that the pig token gets its value from the farm once the rest of the farms are open. He says pigs will move, we'll see. Obviously it's going to help pigs get their value from the farm, so it should help out with the pigs price, especially if the BUSD rewards in that pig pen are paying out a much greater yield, because then that'll incentivize more people to want to take their pigs, accumulate more, put them in the pig pen, as opposed to wanting to sell them. So it will help a lot getting the rest of the farms up and running. Talk about the fact that the pig's value comes from the farm deposit fees and the dog token taxes. And since the taxes on dogs is going to be a lot higher now, I know some people are frustrated with that, but this will help to generate more revenue into that pig pen since the tax is going to be a lot higher. And since the vault is going to be much higher than where it is today when the farms go live, he said that, it might be beneficial to get some pigs and put them in the pen before it opens, so you can get all those fresh deposit fees and have a nice position. Not financial advice, but that's basically what I'm doing. Trying to build up that pig pen position before everything goes live, because when things go live, people are going to be aping into that thing. He also talked about dogs. He gave an update there. He just tried to clear up some of the confusion, and one of the things that he stated, I've talked about this in the last video, but basically if you have held dogs at the point of pausing, you're going to get credited dogs, and if you held any type of dogs LP, then you're going to get credited with the dogs LP. So he cleared that up. So then you're basically going to have three options. You can stake the single dogs in the single asset pool and get rewards from the tax sales of the farm, or you can pair new BUSD and BNB with the dogs tokens and put them into the farming pools to generate pigs tokens with fresh high APY, which I think that APY is going to be super high once these farms go live again. Or you can stake the LP tokens you get credited, and you will get 35% APY vesting until it's released. Then you can split them and do what you want with the BUSD and BNB. One update we know to the single staking dogs pool is that it's no longer going to be generating pigs. It's now going to be generating B&B. If we head over to the pool currently, you can see that before the pause, the dog single staking pool was earning you pigs, but there has been that change now that you are going to be earning B&B rewards instead. It is still going to be a 90% dogs tax until you have a high loyalty score, and then it goes down to 6% tax. So I know obviously the tax is something that a lot of people are frustrated with, but if you are a long-term holder, this isn't even going to matter to you, because by the time you go to sell your dogs down the road, if you want to sell them, then the tax is going to be way down. It'll eventually go down all the way back to 6%. And then here's the big thing, 75% of the taxes for dogs is going to go to the pig pen, and then 25% goes to the liquidity helper contract. And it will use the BUSD to buy dogs to add more liquidity. So, since the tax is going to be a lot higher, like I mentioned earlier, 75% of that's going to that pig pen. So that's just more and more rewards for stakers in the pig pen. He also gave an update on the scratch tickets, so they're 100% built, and he has a meeting with Chainlink to do a demo on scratchies next week. He talked a little bit about the affiliate structure, the white label service. Own brands are going to be able to create their own scratch tickets with centralized companies using the service. The scratch tickets are going to be huge. This is really one of the next big innovations in this entire ecosystem. It's really going to help to prop up and help support the price of all the existing tokens in the ecosystem, because there's going to be a drip, a pigs, and a dog scratch ticket, and 20% of that's going to be able to be used to buy back that asset. Whatever scratch ticket you got. If you got a drip scratch ticket, 20% of it's going to be used to buy drip. If you got a pigs scratch ticket, 20% is going to be used to buy back pigs. So it's really going to help with supporting the price of all of the existing assets in the ecosystem. And then he gave a big update here towards the end of the AMA. He said that they officially hired a new CMO, so really going to be working on heavy marketing for all of these products that are going to be coming out. And one thing that's really cool is that the CMO is basically going to be paid based on his performance. The better he does, the more he gets paid. So there's going to be incentive for him to really push out these projects and market them heavily. So that was good to hear. Overall, I thought it was a good AMA, and man, I'm just excited. Obviously, we got to wait a little bit to get everything up and running, but there's so many things I want to buy. There's so many things on my wish list. I really want to get my pig pen position built up first. I really want to get to like 10 to 20 pigs at least, which I know is still a small amount, but I kind of want to hit that goal first. Drip, I want to continue doing my thing. I want to get my drip up to 1,000 drip tokens, which, based on the sounds of it, I might be able to get there now before the farms go live again. I do also want to maybe add a little more to the garden. People also are still sleeping on that piggy bank. I think the pig price is going to do really well once everything is out and running again. So those rewards in the piggy bank can increase tremendously over time. So really, I'm going to be utilizing the next 1.5 months to 2 months, or however long we're going to have to wait, to just continue building up my position. I don't want to waste this opportunity we have right in front of us right now. Some people are going to choose to continue getting frustrated, continue to give into the FUD. I'm sure there's going to be more FUD out there circulating due to the delays. But the people on the other side that continue to build really believe that they're going to be rewarded, and Forex is going to be looking out for those people. So that's the camp that I choose to be in, because I believe in this ecosystem and I believe in Forex. But anyways, that is all I got for you guys. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. But until next time, peace.
Andrea, please step forward to